Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday Funday. And sorry, we decided to not murder ourselves. Instead, we decided to murder our brains because we have, of course, went to see Birds of Prey. I'm not calling it by its full title. I don't give a shit. Even though
Wikipedia doesn't call it by its full title.
yeah, they simply just call it Birds of Prey.
Yeah, Birds of Prey 2020 film.
Yeah, like the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn. Fuck off, movie. I hated this movie from the title.
Totally not his connections to Suicide Squad or that shitty Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman shit.
Just the title alone already pissed me off going into this movie. It's okay. So to talk about to how we felt toward the movie, I am going to let Megan lead us off simply because she's probably had one of the more vitriol reactions to most of the DCEU movies, with the exception of the few really good ones. That, of course, being Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Ironically, all of them have the word man in the movie title, with the exception of course, Murder Man versus Captain Hypocrite and Man of Steel. Well, those are the only real DCEU movies that... Wait, hold on, never mind, I'm stupid. Hey, Shazam has Ma in it. Okay, that's or Ma who juxtapose it. I'm stupid. I have told y'all many times before I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. Just stupid.
And also, honestly, I would be the person who's going to pick apart more of the issues that it does in terms of comic books, how it doesn't always... whether or not if it's very true to characters. Because, of course, I am the big comic book nerd out of us both. Megan has read numerous comic books. I am just the comic book nerd. And, like I was talking to Megan about some of the stuff. She's like, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I'm like, I had something in the comics. Although, still, Shazam's ending credit sequence, whoever about looked at her and went, what that was? The goddamn caterpillar talking. And we learned it's a Captain Marvel villain. It's like, okay, I'll say so. So, what did you think of Birds of Prey? Beyond my absolute hatred of the title.
It was not good. A lot of parts where it was very boring.
Yeah.
Don't say it was better than Suicide Squad.
That's like saying that one shit you took smelled better than another shit you took. You still took a shit.
Yeah, Suicide Squad did not set the bar very high.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I would actually agree with you in that it is better than Suicide Squad. It's not a lot better. It's better. But honestly, the biggest issue I was constantly having throughout this movie, I'm like, they really wanted this to be the new Deadpool, didn't they? Because Harley narrates most of the movie and her jokes and all that. It feels like it's an attempt to riff what Deadpool did. Like, there's also the kind of back and forth that happens throughout the film in terms of the timeline and how things ended up being the way they are. Here, at least the villain, who is Ewan McGregor, who's of course Black Mask, though he only gets his goofy mask for all of like one scene, and then he quickly sheds it. It's like, okay, well, thanks. But
see Ewan McGregor's handsome face.
Yeah.
It's like, he is handsome and he is very like over the top. It's like... It's not the acting, I will say. It's more the character. It's like, the character's not really that enjoyable to watch. Like, he's this spoiled brat where he wants everyone to kowtow to him just because he has money or something.
Yeah, and it's constantly being brought up because of the fact that, oh, well, it's because your father kicked you out of his company and pretty much cut you off and all this and that. And it's one of those like, that doesn't. I will say this much: I don't know a ton about Black Hand. I'm not sure if that's 100% true to his character, but more importantly, for the movie itself, it just doesn't make for an interesting character. It would be one thing if that petulance or that, pretty much, I want it now, because it's pretty much what he does throughout the entire movie. Mm-hmm. It would be one thing if it was even more so, or if the petulance also was like he needed to have people around him constantly pretty much singing his praises. People just kind of were afraid of him because he technically was kind of crazy. He only really shows that off in one scene that is meant to be at least a really dramatic scene where he pretty much tells his lady to dance on the table and this guy to cut her dress off. But you would have figured it would have went more for a rated R movie. This also is a very tamed film at times. Like,
yeah, there's blood, but nowhere near as much as it could be. It's mostly just F this and mother F that and like just F on me dropped all over the place, and it's like, okay, I'm not impressed, really.
Yeah, because it never quite has, mind the language here, it never quite has the Ryan Reynolds ability to create these just string of expletives that are just fantastic.
They're so creative.
Yeah, and their crew, they hurt everybody. Like, again, mind the language. The best one he ever said, I still will say to this day, the cock-juggling thunder cunt from Blade Trinity. That is an awesome line and describes my neighbor to a T. And it's really kind of, it feels like they never go all out. It's the best way to put it. There is a lot of fucks thrown out, but it always...
Yeah, because Deadpool, like, he swears a lot. Mm-hmm. But he's also creative with his swearing, and he's also, like, sarcastic.
Yeah.
It's like, there's an art form to what he's saying.
Yeah, it's not just fucks for fuck's sake. It's fucks that are used to almost make a language in and of themselves. It's hard to describe, and it's hard to exactly get if you just watch the movie until you actually kind of sit down and try to... It's almost sing-songy in a weird way of saying it. Like, the idea that they made a PG-13 Deadpool 2, and I actually have watched it, it's actually really damn funny still, because of some of the edits they do. It felt still kind of really Deadpool, even though I still will say Deadpool 2 is an inferior movie to the first one. And even though it's still a fun movie in its own right. But...
yeah, it just... Harley Quinn is not the character to try and do that with.
Yeah.
Because a lot of her shtick is just like, oh, Mr. J, and...
Yeah, like the first third of the movie is her trying to get over the fact her and Joker broke up. And yeah, this does follow Suicide Squad. But here's the biggest thing. It doesn't explain why they broke up. They just broke up. It seems to be Joker caused, but in the same instance, it's one of those like, well, we still would like to see what the fuck happened. Because he seemed to be willing to move hell and earth for her.
Yeah, like he was so, like, devoted to her, and, like, I will rescue her, and I don't care if I have to destroy the city and kill all these people to do it.
Yeah, and get in trouble with the government. Who cares? You know, I got my pudding back. Well, actually, he's pudding, yeah. But, you know, still his... let's call what one guy calls her lotus flower, you know.
Yeah.
And... I don't know, it feels weird that that's how they decided to take it. It would be one thing if they just would have had her come to her own senses. It would have stuck true to what we were seeing with in Suicide Squad. And it would have been a good way to continue that arc. Even though I don't think that that was actually a really great interpretation of Harley Quinn. But still, it's like, okay...
Consistency.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the issue that has been nagging DCEU the entire time. These movies just aren't very consistent with each other. Like, even Aquaman, it's a fantastic movie. amazingly fantastic.
Except for, like, a reference to the Justice League and all that goes on in that movie. It's like, you can just totally ignore the rest of the DCU for Aquaman.
Yeah, but also because of that instance, there is a bit of a plot hole because he seems to be not really familiar with Mara. Like, he seems to be just kind of meeting her for the first time or kind of really just getting to know her. But in Justice League, they seem to have a past.
Yeah, they seem like each other's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And it's like, oh, well, I'm here for this reason.
Yeah. And it's like one of those, like, what the hell's happening right now?
I would say, they look like old friends or old lovers or something. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. You were doing this one thing in Justice League.
Yeah, he seemed to barely knew. He just knew she was the redhead who was protecting the cube. He did not, like, barely even knew her name. Or anything. But it's like, yeah, it was one of those moments like, what is happening right now? But here, again, it is a problem because, one, we're not seeing what is causing this breakup. So because of that, the connections between it and Suicide Squad, I'm sure it's trying to distance itself simply because Suicide Squad, even people who love the movie have to admit it was a mess of a production, and because of that it been a difficult movie to follow up to.
Yeah, you're using all these characters just to kill them off or have them like remain in the background and kind of like slip away at the at the earliest convenience, and then that little Twitch dance, like, oh, everything was just such a mess.
Yeah, but here, because it doesn't lack, or it doesn't have good cohesion within Suicide Squad, there's a lot of issues. Because, like, for instance, why is Amanda Waller not trying to get Harley back? It would seem like, as driven as that woman is, she would get her team back together, or more importantly, get Harley back, and have her back under her control. Never brought up. Best there's like a passing mention to Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, it's like a wanted poster in this police station.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. Like, Harley never bothers to contact him, Deadshot, anybody. And we know Deadshot is in Gotham a lot. So, what the hell gives here?
Yeah, and going back to the whole Deadpool thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it just doesn't work because part of her shtick is like, oh, Mr. J. Like, although I will say that she was more consistently with that Mr. J accent. Yeah,
it didn't fall flat like it did sometimes in Suicide Squad, where it's like she suddenly stopped it and just couldn't remember how to do the accent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of her shtick, and the other part is, like, remembering her psychology, her training, for lack of a better way to put it. Her education. There we go.
And I guess she also happened to get a couple educations in, fighting and all that. Because she's, like, able to, like, do flips and shit and just pretty much, like, wrestling moves. And I get it. Harley needs to not
she joins the roller derby.
Yeah.
And it's, like, whipping all around, beating these ladies' asses, breaking this one chick's nose.
Yeah, and I get that, Harley, you don't want her to be just another, like, pushover. Because otherwise she's no danger to Batman, she's no danger to anybody or whatsoever. She's just
I would say she's just a brightly colored crazy chick.
Yeah, and that's fine, because I like the idea that, because unfortunately it's kind of how Suicide Squad originally kind of portrayed her, but they kind of showed she did have some stuff. Would have been nice if this movie kind of expanded on it, because it tries to sort of give Harley a backstory. Sort of. But also this movie, it's also cluttered as shit. The first third of this movie, first off, it drags its heels about doing anything. Like, the plot really does not move until she decides to blow up a chemical plant. The chemical plant that she got dipped into the chemicals to profess her love for Mr. J. And also, she's like, but we broke up now and then, and she seems to be taking it hard. So again, it makes it seem like it's a Joker cause. So it's like, well, what did he do? Did he hit you? Which, that would make sense.
Well, pretty much like he broke up with her.
Yeah.
Which again is inconsistent with Suicide Squad. I mean, I'm glad to be rid of, Jared Leto, his Joker. but still, it's like some kind of consistency where she's like, you know what, you're too obsessed with Batman, or you're too this or that.
The only person you love is Batman.
You know, it's like I'm going out on my own to find myself or something, and
yeah, because that's pretty much that's the movie. It's to find herself, and when I'm talking about cluttered, like after she blows up this chemical plant and everything, and also it tries to rip off the Suicide Squad stuff that it has like these little cutaways for like little people that pop up. It's like, here's a reason why she.
Like, oh, here's this person. Here's their grievance with her and why they're trying to kill her.
Yeah. Though, it's weird that it does it for all these, like, side characters, but it doesn't do it for the actual, like, important comic book characters. Like, at best, it only does it for the Huntress whenever she finally introduced herself. Is that Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
Winstead, yeah.
Yeah, Winstead. Yeah. She's fine. She does the job well with what she's given, but dear God,
she's kind of awkward.
She's not the Huntress also. The Huntress...
Yeah.
Okay. Nerd here for a bit. Huntress, yeah, she is sometimes a little bit more willing to break the law in certain ways, beyond just obviously being a vigilante. But, you know, being willing to let a person die. She's not bloodthirsty, though. And she's also not this psycho at times. Like, they even make a mention, like, she has a anger issue. And I'm like, why? Why does the Huntress need to have an anger issue? We already have one crazy person. Why do we need two? Especially considering Mary Elizabeth...
She doesn't even seem that angry.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, she's going after all these people for revenge, and, you know, she's a lot of times too busy practicing her, do you know who I am? They call me the Huntress.
Yeah, and...
Yeah, I've even seen of her practicing that in front of a mirror. I was like, I get it's supposed to be played for comedy, but I don't think it works with the character.
Yeah.
Or what they're trying to do with her.
Because she's not as funny like that. She's very serious, and that's okay. That's how the Huntress is. She's kind of very not a super, you know, she's a serious lady. She's not down for jokes. She wants to kick ass and chew bubblegum, possibly.
Yeah, she's very, like, I will have my revenge. But in this, like, she just doesn't seem like she gives a shit that much. She's just like, oh, I must avenge my family for my family honor or something. That's more how it comes across, like she's just doing her, you know, daughterly duty.
Yeah, and then, of course, we also need to talk about Black Canary, Diana Lance. Though, really, she's just Diana Lance throughout the entire film till the last 5 minutes. And it turns out, I guess, the Canary Call, she technically has a sonic weapon is how she's able to use it. It's able to amplify her voice. But here, it's actually a power she has. A slight bit of a deviation. And I know some people may make a big deal of the fact that I believe the lady who plays her is African American.
Yeah, her name is Journey Smollett something or other. I'm guessing she's Jesse's sister.
Hopefully she didn't get beat up by two Nigerian guys that suddenly became white. I will say it's like the whole change in race, didn't give a shit. Cool. I will say that actually she did really good with the material she's given. And
she's really beautiful, I will say. I like her hair. It's like not like kind of an everyday, you know, real world type of thing, but it's really gorgeous, and she was like badass. And
yeah, just again, it's one of those this movie's focusing around Harley, and I don't give a shit about Harley. Harley's arc kind of ended in Suicide Squad, and even in this movie,
it was kind of pathetic, and I think this was a way to kind of like make up for it, have her go out on her own.
Yeah, but even then, she can't really go out on her own. She has to have a group of people to help her do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to make it. It's supposed to be a girl power movie, but
yeah, I really think DC is trying to recapture some of the. Well, not recapture. I assume they even had to begin with, but capture what Endgame did with that little, you know, team up of some ladies at the end. Like, it's like, yeah, that was badass and that was awesome. Mm-hmm. But it's like you can't just, you know, ride on Marvel's coattails and go unnoticed.
Hell, Like I said, they completely ripped off Deadpool and they decided to make it into a Harley Quinn movie.
Which again just does not work with his character.
Yeah. The only issue I will say with Black Canary, and it's just the big problem that constantly bothers me throughout it, why she's not using her canary call. Like, she seems to be able to, if she's pushing it, it's obviously going to cause her a little bit of harm, just like anything. But it's obviously said that she has this power. In fact, Renee Montoya, yes, because Renee Montoya is in this, played by, I can't remember her name.
Rosie Perez.
Yeah, Rosie Perez. Boy, I'm not picking on Rosie Perez. I admit she's an older lady, but good God, Renee Montoya is not ancient. At least make her a younger lady. I'm fine with it. Get the lady who played Jane the Virgin.
He was also in Miss Bala.
Yeah, get her. I mean, she's really young,
Yeah,
but
Gina Rodriguez.
But you know what? I'd be fine. Get Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez, first off, she can play hard-nosed and not make it seem silly. Because that's the thing. Rosie Perez constantly feels silly. And it's like, that's not Renee Montoya.
I'll say she doesn't really come off as badass, maybe a cop with a chip on her shoulder. But, like, she's not really badass unless she has a gun in her hand.
Yeah, like she's constantly getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
And she's constantly being berated by other people and doesn't, like... Because Renee Montoya would punch somebody in the fucking throat. She would not care.
But at least, you know, the Huntress and Black Canary and even Harley are able to hold her own. Renee Montoya does not really have, at least in this version, does not really have much in the way of fighting skills to speak of. Like I said, she's not really badass unless she's got a gun in her hand.
Yeah, it feels like what they should have done is maybe... What they could have done, again, recasting right here, just Michelle Rodriguez. Have Michelle and show her, like, after a time whenever they say, we're not going to do this, let the movie be a little serious for a moment and just show her kind of like working out in the gym and just beating the shit out of, like a punching bag, you know, and maybe she's sparring with the guy and actually really beating the fuck out of him, you know, and maybe he's like, hey, he's like, you want to take his anger out, go take it on who it needs to be taken out on. That might be a way to help spur her on to do what she feels is the right thing to do. That screams more Renee Montoya. And again, also, this movie, its tone is all over the damn place. It doesn't help it. Like, it wants to be silly like Deadpool, but Deadpool knew when to be semi-serious. The second one, not so much, but at least the first one really knew how to. It knew whenever it needed to try and take things serious and maybe cut down on the jokes. Hell, people want to sit there and poke fun at Marvel because, oh, well, every serious thing has to have a joke right after it. It's like, trust me, watch the last few Avengers films. Hell, you can watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, and even though I didn't much care for that movie as much as the others, you could still see that that is not the case.
Well, just even the last few minutes of Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everything's all serious and like, oh my god, how do we... It's like, where do we go from here? Like, what...
Yeah, there's no jokes. It's just, this is the finality of this 10-year arc. It's like, okay, that's really good.
And it pretty much just keeps stepping on your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's okay. We can have, some good drama in a comic book movie. And this movie doesn't understand. It's like, okay, let's just hit joke. We're going to keep pounding you with jokes. Oh, every now and then we're going to have this semi-serious thing. But then joke. It's like, stop it, movie. You're not funny, which is also another issue. The movie really thinks it's hilarious. I'm pretty sure it's real funny to somebody. And I'm not trying to belittle the people who were in our theater, but I will actually say they were like us. We were really laughing. Wasn't really much to giggle at.
I think maybe a couple people,
Yeah, like, I think we laughed at, like, one kind of joke. And it was...
hey, it's the singer no one likes. Or,
hey, it's the asshole no one likes.
Yeah, it's like the singer no one listens to. Hey, it's the asshole no one likes. Like,
yeah, that's actually, okay, that's a funny line.
It's something you would say.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, that sounds, again, I was thinking, it's like, okay, that sounds like something almost Deadpool would say. But it almost feels a little bit more organic to Harley. It's like, look, you're not ripping off Deadpool completely. God, why y'all want to rip off Deadpool so badly? Like, these two characters really don't make sense together.
Yeah, they just...
Hell, they're... sorry. I was just going to say, they even do fourth wall breaks throughout this. And it's like, that's not really Harley, though. That's not her shtick. It's like, just... Y'all know what movie you're making. Ugh. Oh, and also I would be remiss, as a comic book fan, I actually really like Cassandra Cain. She has a very sad backstory, and on top of that, she actually can be a real badass. Cassandra Cain, her real backstory is the fact that she was raised by her father, who was like this extreme assassin. She was raised by him, and he taught her in the art of fighting nonsense. It's weird to explain. He taught her to be able to read people's like little body movements and stuff like that. So that way, one, she'd be able to counter anything you're able to do. And on top of that, she didn't talk. She, in fact, couldn't really talk because he refused to say anything to her. He literally began her life by teaching her how to fight. And the only thing that brought her away from that, from being an assassin, is whenever she killed somebody, she got to see what happened to somebody when they died. And it scarred her. It scared her because she was a little kid. I want to say she was 12. This little shit that's in this movie, I don't know why it's called Cassandra Cain, because I guess we want to have connection to the comic books. It's just a pickpocket girl who's supposed to have a heart of gold who just needs a big sister. And, oh my god, as a comic book fan and a fan of Cassandra Cain, this movie is infuriating.
Yeah, basically everyone is after her because she picked the wrong pocket, stole this diamond, which has...
some, like, embedded...
I would say some information embedded, like, inside of it to
unlock
the Bernelli family, like, their
some
accounts.
mafia family is the best way to say it.
Yeah, like, their accounts and everything to get their hands on their money.
Mm-hmm.
But she steals it and shortly after swallows it.
Why, I don't know. She just decides to down the damn thing.
Yeah, it's like, not like she knows that there are people that are going to be after her for this. It's like, why not keep it safe? And then, like, oh, you know, all these people are after me. They're going to kill me if they don't get this diamond. Or even if they do get it, they might kill me anyway.
Like, whenever
like
she's...
then it would make a bit more sense to have her swallow it at that point.
Yeah, like, let's say Harley's like, oh, I hand over them to me. No, did that. Okay. Also, I know some people may say, well, it's sort of cliche. Yeah, so is the fact that she swallows in the first place. But then, why is she still swallowing? She's like, oh, candy,
Yeah, there's a lot of cliches, like Renee Montoya.
She's literally a walking cliche, and the movie thinks it's funny, and it's like...
Like, oh, she saw one too many 80s cop movies, and so she says cheesy lines. Like,
yeah, and also, that is the thing, she does say cheesy lines, but it's like Rosie Perez is trying to be in on the joke. It was y'all one shooter. In her weird accent that she has, and it's like, I think they think this is funny,
yeah,
but this is really stupid. And it's also what I was thinking the whole time watching the movie. I'm like, this is really stupid. It's obnoxiously stupid. And also, I'd be remiss in saying this. The movie also wants to do a shifting timeline constantly. Like, we're going to go a week back. Now we're going to go 2 days back. Now we're going to go this
and
this.
it follows Harley up to a certain point. It's like, oh, well, I got to take you back, 4 minutes from now. And, introduce Renee Montoya. And then catch everybody up to speed at the Ace Chemical explosion.
Yeah, and then we gotta jump back again.
It's like a week beforehand to introduce
Black Canary.
Yeah, Black Canary and that little kid, Cassandra Cain, and the diamond and everything.
And also, it's because of that, the movie, it feels like it's so fucking unable to stick onto a path. It's like, movie, please, just go forward. Like, there are times we are just dragging our way through the plot, and it's like, oh my god, at least Deadpool made a joke of it. At least Deadpool, or, it'd be nice if Harley went, that was kind of a waste of your time, but oh well, now you can see it. You know, that would have been funny. You know, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of cute. It acknowledges its own stupidity. But instead, this movie just wants to constantly shift us back so then we can go forward. Now, look, now the plot's moving forward again by 3 seconds. Ooh. Yeah, and also, just, Jesus, I can't stand any of these characters. And there's another comic book character in this because, dear God, we don't have enough. There's Zaz.
Zaz?
Yeah. No, they call him Zaz. I don't know why his name's Zaz. Everything else I've heard him, he's been pronounced Zaz. I'm like,
well, in Gotham, they call him Victor Zaz.
that's because Gotham's stupid. Yeah. I kid. I actually like Gotham. It's alright. It's not the greatest show in the world, but it's a lot better than anything else that DC's ever put out on television. No, never mind. Anything that's not animated. There we go. I want to say, the animated DC things are pretty fucking good. Except for Teen Titans Go. I can go suck my wiener. But no. So, he's a goon.
Played by Amy Adams' husband from Julie and Julia, Chris Messina.
Yeah. And I don't give him this much. He's creepy. And that's fine. I just have one issue. Why did we make him a goon? He's not that kind of a guy. He's a serial killer who kind of gets off on raping and murdering women. He's a Batman foil, which is fine, making it, you know, foil to Harley, especially concerned it's the very pro, you know, girl power kind of thing. He wouldn't be working for a mobster. He wouldn't care.
Yeah, he'd be a free agent.
Yeah, he would just be a guy who would just be going around just killing just because he likes to kill. That's Victor Zsasz for you. Sorry, I might call him Zsasz. It also doesn't help I used to work for a guy, his name was Zsasz and spelled that way. His name was not Victor, his name was Tim. Tim was cool. Tim was actually a really nice boss. Actually, I would never call him boss. He was actually a really great manager. But no, sorry. I'm not trying to relate the two. But, no, yeah, it always rings weird. It's like, okay, he is creepy like Victor Zsasz would be, but he's just, like I said, he's the errand boy. And it's like,
I was saying that's kind of how they ended up making him on Gotham. Like, he was this killer, like, he eventually went to work for Penguin. But he, as a character, was just, he was delightful. He was hilarious in his own way, and...
In Gotham?
Yeah, in Gotham.
Okay. I'm about to say, it sounds like you're talking about this movie, and he's like, he was not delightful in this.
No, I'm talking about Gotham. Like, that's... Like, his character was actually kind of a joy to watch on screen. It's like, okay, you're funny, dude.
Yeah. Here, he's kind of almost forgettable.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, he's there, and it's like, okay, well, why is this Victor Zsasz? It's like, why did we decide to get...
Yeah, he's, Black Masson's, like, right-hand man who is, like, the only one who can calm him down, I guess. Like, okay, that role could have been filled by any random Joe Schmo off the street. Why?
Yeah, why is he Victor Zsasz? It's a weird choice. Like, whenever he called him Zsasz, I'm like, wait, like Victor Zsasz? The serial killer? And then it's like, then they called him Victor, also, or Victor Zsasz, and I'm like, holy shit, yeah. I'm like, why? It's such a weird choice. And this movie's bad. It's really bad. Like, by the end of it all, we're going to spoil this movie. Hell, we technically spoiled with the fact that Cassandra Cain ate the diamond. And to be fair, that happens like nearly halfway through the film. Again, when we talk about this movie dragging its heels about actually fucking moving forward.
Yeah, just everything all, like, comes together so everyone can meet up at the end in this fun house.
Mm-hmm. And I'll admit, the fight sequence was admittedly good. It was well filmed, it was backed up, wasn't cut too much, and it tries...
And it was badass.
Yeah.
In its own Harley Quinn kind of way.
Though I would have preferred a little bit more of showing each of the different Birds of Prey members, we'll call them that, showing each one of them fighting in their own unique style. Let Renee Montoya, again, because she has no real character beyond she's a cop in this entire movie. That's her character arc. you know,
shooting a gun at mirrors because she couldn't find the guy and then getting her ass whooped.
it's like, it would have been one thing, like, show her, you know, like, using a gun in kind of, you know, interesting ways and also brawling with a guy. Again, Michelle Rodriguez would have been so good in this role. Dear God, why did y'all not get Michelle Rodriguez? She would have been fantastic in this role. I know people are like, oh, you're just giving it to her because she's awesome. It's like, exactly. Sorry. Rosie Perez is like 85 years old. Sorry, she's actually probably closer to 50. And she... Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie. You're looking on it. It's like, whoa. Age hit her like a bag of bricks or whoever her husband was. Sorry, that joke was mean. That joke was raw. But yeah, and also it would have been cool if Canary, while she was fighting, you know, of course she's doing kicks, but every now and then using like little short bursts of the Canary scream. Or the, what's it, Canary
Can cry.
Yeah. And, you know, just, you know, throwing people like you do when you play Injustice 2, because she's a fun-ass character to play as. Her ultimate kind of sucks ass, which I guess is going to pay off for having such a great brawler. You know, and let Huntress, you know, using, you know, some of her moves and shooting her, you know, crossbow, and, you know, show Harley being kind of Harley. Instead, it's like, it's a good fight sequence. It's, like I said, it's really well edited and everything. Just, they're all just kind of brawling. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's alright. It's good.
Yeah, it's cool to see all these, you know, badass females, you know, fighting together and fighting all these guys off, and, you know, especially all with the common goal of trying to protect this one kid. Sorry. I got my own. But, like, it was awesome to see, but I will say, I think it went on a little long.
Yeah, it bordered on the edge of just going just a little long where I'm like, alright, come on, movie. I know you were bored as shit out of me and you finally wanted to have some action again. Oh, and also, would be remiss from talking about the action beforehand. Like, there is some action earlier on in the movie. If you don't like early Zack Snyder slow-mo action, you're going to hate it. God, the early parts of the action, like when Harley has to break into the police station to try and break out, not Cassandra Cain. It relies so much on slow-mo, and to the point where I was getting actively bored with the slow-mo. I'm like, oh my God, at least Zack Snyder tried to make it look cool. Fuck, you're making me praise Zack Snyder. How dare you, movie? The best I can get of this movie right now. But yeah, by the end of it all, Harley blows up. Or no, Cassandra Cain technically blows up Black Mask, and...
Yeah, Harley goes to rescue Cassandra, but Cassandra ends up rescuing herself because she took a couple grenades, and I was wondering when they would come into play. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, she grabbed grenades, and it's like, okay, so she's going to do something with them later. That never happened. I was like, okay, did she just pick up their grenades? Like, oh, that's neat.
Did she eat those too?
Or was she just like, pick them up, like, okay, you know, this is neat, and then just put them back in the box of weapons or something? What? And then, no, I was like, oh, I took your ring. And the...
Yeah, the firing pin, in essence. Yeah, they call it fire pins.
Yeah, some Black Mask, and I was, oh, shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, and he blows up good. Mm-hmm. So, last we get to see McGregor. Bye! You weren't as memorable as you should have been.
Yeah. I like the kind of like almost 80s sensibility of his clothes. And Hugh McGregor, he's a good actor, but it's just the character. Again, he's this pitching little spoiled brat. It's like, okay, you need to be shot in the face. I don't like you.
Yeah, and it'd be one thing to love to hate him.
Yes.
Like that, like there's plenty 80s bad guys that are that way. And there's so many like, ooh, I fucking hate your ass.
Where you're a villain. You're the bad guy. I'm supposed to be rooting against you. But at the same time, you're so delightful.
Yeah. Not to talk about a 90s movie. Jeremy Irons from Lion King. Hell, the bad guy from Roadhouse. The main bad guy. He is such an asshole. You'll love to hate him. Hell, Thanos, if you want to get modern.
Yes.
Hell, what's his name? I forgot it, but the Vulture from Spider-Man. I was trying to remember his actual name. I know it's Michael Keaton, but yeah, Toombs is his name. God, he is such a delight to watch. And you're like, God, you're kind of a real schmuck.
And actually, he's actually kind of sympathetic, much like Thanos.
Yeah, because you kind of understand it.
You know, he's getting screwed over, and it's fun. Like, you know what? Let's, do something for ourselves and our family. Mm-hmm. Because, being honest is not getting the job done. We're not taking care of our families. So we're gonna turn to life of crime. We're gonna use this stuff that we found, and I was like, it's understandable with people struggling to take care of their families nowadays.
Hell, like another just sliming. And admittedly, he could have been a lot better, at least in light compared to Loki. Ultron, I really love James Spader's way on how he did it. He was such a dick.
Yes, yeah, I was like,
hated him.
I was rooting for someone to blow him up, but at the same time, he was like, James Spader, the way he was portrayed, like, he was kind of creepy at times, but especially with that, I got no strings on me.
Yeah, I got no strings on me. It's like, it made me crawl in my skin now.
I was like, are you... But he was also delightful. He was funny.
Yeah. Here, Ewan McGregor, he's just annoying.
He's not as charismatic as he should be.
Yeah.
It's like, I really don't blame his acting. It's just the character he has to play and the writing.
Yeah, writing the whole movie just sucked. So, what would you give Birds of Prey? Because, sorry, I'm still calling it by its full title. Tongue doesn't have enough time for that. It needs to be eating her pussy.
And again...
Hi, Megan's family.
Really hope my family stop watching this, especially my parents.
I'll share it with them.
No. Oh.
So, what would you give Birds of Prey?
This may be really generous. I'm going to give it a 3.
I struggle because originally I gave Suicide Squad a 3. And that almost seems obnoxiously too high for it. But I think the biggest thing is at least Suicide Squad 4, as shitty as it was almost a kind of fun train wreck to sit there and watch. Because you could see just how much of this movie was redone and how much they decided to try and keep.
I mean, not the kind of train wreck you can watch over and over, like, say, Batman and Robin.
Oh, no. Batman and Robin is a gem that Joel Schumacher gave us, and I never want another one of them ever again. But Birds of Prey, the biggest problem is it is actively much more boring than Suicide Squad. And that's its biggest sin. As despite being a bad movie, it's not an interesting movie. And for that, I'm going to give it a 2. You also fucked over a character I really, really liked. You wasted another character, Renee Montoya. Your villain is not super interesting. And on top of that, Harley is not a compelling lead character. Especially with this just weird situation going on between it and Suicide Squad. I get the idea that they're wanting to make this a girl power movie.
Well, if you really want it to be girl power, then have Harley go out on her own. Seemed like she was doing in Suicide Squad, or trying to.
Listen to her. She knows what she's saying.
Yeah, rather than her, moping over a Joker for the first third of the movie.
If not longer, almost, felt like.
Yeah, just have her you know what, Mr. J? I need to go out and find myself.
Yeah. Honestly, a better thing would have been, let's say she did that, and the reason why Black Mask is even bothering with her, because he feels like it comes out of left field. Have him be a guy that Mr. J contracts out to. Him and Zaw's kind of having this cat and mouse game going after Harley, and she ends up gaining our people to help to defeat them too. That would have been much more interesting. Because Black Mask has always been kind of a one-note villain at best. Here's the thing. He was technically the main villain of the third Arkham games. There's technically 4. Yes, I know. We always forget about the third one that was released on 360. But everybody forgets that he was. They always remember the Deathstroke fight. That was actually kind of fun. They forget that Black Mask was in the movie or in the game. It's like, and that's why he's just forgettable. He's forgettable as all fuck. But that's it. Birds of Prey can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
And it's gonna need to take nearly an hour to do it. Oh, but yeah, I don't go see it. Go see 1917.
Yeah, and getting back to the F-bomb situation. Yeah, it just almost seems like a teenager or preteen learning how to swear, and then like just hanging out with your friends, dropping as many F-bombs as you can.
It feels nigh gratuitous at points. And yes, I know I do not have a whole lot of room to fucking talk. But I have at least tried to use it either for emphasis or for jokes. My fucks are for good fucking reason.
Yeah, it was almost juvenile. And like, for trying to go for an R rating, there could have been more blood, there could have been...
Could have done more with its entire material. It could have done more.
Like, they could have even gotten away with a little bit of nudity. So if you're really wanting to go that far...
Hell, make it a real girl power movie and show off a dude's schlong. Ow.
Sorry, smack you.
You didn't smack me, you scratched me with a ring. Ow.
The ring that you picked out, mind you.
Yeah, that was my blood, too. Oh. Yes.
Yeah, don't. Just let this movie keep on.
Yeah, it's already starting to. That's fine, people. Y'all don't need to go see this. It's not even an interesting movie to sit there and go check out for any reason.
It was better than Gretel and Hansel last week, but that's not really saying much.
Like I even used my analogy earlier, one shit doesn't make it better than the other shit. It's still shit. Honestly, go see Bad Boys for Life. Go see 1917. What else? There was a third movie we've seen that was also really good.
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman. Go see that. The movie is fantastic. And
at least made good use of its F-bombs.
Yeah, it's like, that movie made F-bombs feel gentlemanly.
And even threw in some... Like a bunch of C words.
In good ways.
Yeah, there was even a little bit of creativity with a spunk bubble.
That is the best thing I need to call somebody here soon.
I was like, I'm using that.
It's like, ooh, you're writing that one down. That's a good one too. Just
and also had like the violence and the blood and stuff. I was like, Gentleman went whole hog with it.
Yeah, the Gentleman felt like at best it had to pare down to an R. Not like with Harley Quinn, or I'm going to just call it Harley Quinn Part Deuce, because it is a deuce. Where Harley Quinn felt like it had to try and push itself to become an R. By throwing in random fucks and shit like that. And it just led to a messy ass movie.
Yeah, it just does not work. Mm-hmm. And it's like when Renee Montoya or Huntress, whenever either one of those were on screen, I was like, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah. Honestly, this should have been focused. If you really wanted to have Harley be the focus, you should have had Renee Montoya be played by, a better actress, and on top of that, more badass actress.
Someone a little bit younger who could actually pull off some of the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Instead of relying on a gun and then getting her ass kicked anyway.
Yeah. Or if you're going to have her rely on a gun, at least it'd be interesting or show anything like
Black Widow, what she can do with a gun.
Yeah. It's bad that the Black Widow trailers look better than this entire movie was.
Just even the scene with her sister where they trade guns.
God, that looks so cool. I'm like, I've had just so much during this movie. I cannot wait for Black Widow. I'm actually real looking forward to Black Widow. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Oh, just like David Harbour. Earned him. You got the fat. I was like, I know your Russian accent's terrible.
Like, you got fat.
Yeah, Russian accents are terrible. I don't care. They're fucking awesome. This movie looks cool. And that's just the other thing. The movie pretends it's so cool and it's so stupid. Mm-hmm. This movie is so dumb. But hey, we'll be back next week with something probably as dumb. Yeah. At least it's not going to terrify the shit out of us. Because, of course, we'll be back next week with Sonic the Hedgehog. So, we'll see how good that little blue blur decides to go. So, until then, see you later, Mr. J.